resonating on a completely different level. Does that make sense? Like the what you're talking about, I feel like I have lived experience of it now.
I love
Um,
that for you because it does hit differently when you revisit messages or when you hear something later. Like I watch these Christmas movies now, right? Miracle on 34th Street. When I was a kid, I always wanted Santa to bring me a house. Now I'm looking at it as the grown up going, oh, there's stuff to learn from a different way, right? I actually want to be
yeah.
Santa Claus a little bit in the movie now, but
Yes.
it is a
Uh,
different perspective, and that's exactly it. Just revisiting the mindset, right? I used to love Little Mermaid as a kid, and now I'm like, she's so grounded. She's so grounded. Get to your room. Go to your room. You're grounded. You don't get to talk to Eric and go walk on the shore. But but I wanted to be part of his world a minute ago, right? And it's just so funny that when you step into that growth stage, then it resonates differently. And I think it's the same with the flower because you have all of those elements happening at all times around you to grow. It's sunshine, the water, the whole thing. But when they're in the soil, they don't care about the sunshine. And when they're out of the soil, they don't care as much, right? Their roots are doing the work and they get to just bask in the glory of the sun. And it's a different feeling. But it's so cool to have you say that you can understand that because you are growing then. That's so cool.
it is the growing, and honestly, looking back on it now, for so many years, and this is not, I'm not saying this as like a, I'm upset about it or anything like that. It's just really putting what I've learned into perspective. Is when I was in corporate and I wasn't questioning it, and I was simply doing what I needed to do to make the money that I thought I needed to live the life that I thought I wanted. I did not realize the extent to which I had pushed down my dreams, that I had limited myself, limited what was possible, limited what was possible in the future. And it was only after, you know, you know, partial hospitalization for burnout, for depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation after being laid off from a 24-year job, after, all sorts of interesting, fun things, trying to find a job in the current market and all that other stuff. It's it's a hard thing for some people to face, but growth happens in those places. Growth happens in the places. Growth doesn't happen when you're being comfortable. That's literally what I would have to say now. Growth happens in the spaces where you're uncomfortable, and being uncomfortable doesn't have to be uncomfortable. If that makes any sense at all, Melissa.
It does. I love that so much because, guys, we used to talk about it all the time. And Deb, I know you're like, you've been around, so you probably heard this, but it's that energy of fear and excitement come from the same parts of the brain. And
They
again,
do.
they do, right? And I am not at all a doctor, but I'm a big nerd, guys, and I love learning this stuff. And as somebody who had anxiety, I had to learn to tell my body, this is energy, this is fuel, this is that
Mm.
starting. Because I was a sprinter right before arthritis took me. I used to run hurdles, and I went to the All City. It's a long story. I was going to perform that day, but I had run away. My mom said she was not going to let me. So I didn't go, but I went All City because I was good. And
Yep.
when I thought about that starting line, and what made me jump off the line so much faster than the rest was that energy, that excitement, and being able to put it into that moment. It's the same with a boxer who can focus their punch and that energy of landing it and hit
Ooh,
exactly
I
where they
love
mean to.
that. Oh, Melissa, I love that analogy.
It,
Oh, I
it's true though. And so when you learn to harness it, right, you're standing up at the top of the diving board, you're scared as all get out. You're either going to use that to bounce or you're going to have to shaky leg go back down. And honestly, shaky leg is worse. Shaky leg is
it
so
is.
much
Shaky leg
worse.
is worse. It is always worse. And this is the other thing that I've been learning. Like, there was about a year ago, I realized I really felt the extent to which I had allowed fear to determine everything in my life. Like, it was like a moment of like, oh my God. And then it was like, oh man. And the realization of that actually gave me power. And it gave me the power to feel the fear and not allow the fear to be the thing that limited me from taking action.
That's it. Because listen, life's going to happen either way, guys. You've seen the movies, right? We're going to think about those action movies where Godzilla is coming. You see some of them start moving. You see some people start moving as soon as they hear a rumble. They don't even care what the rumble is. They're like, bye, I'm out. I don't care. I'll read it on the news tomorrow. You have others who are like running with their head turned half back, and they're running into the light post because they're not seeing where they're going because they're watching over their shoulder. And then you have others standing there going, oh, Godzilla. And they get 8. There's only one good way to move, and that's forward with your eyes focused, or you're in trouble.
Oh my God, you painted the most wonderful picture just that I can see the whole thing.
But guys, it's really up to us to determine that, right? And that's the thing, is it's not going to stop being scary. I can't stop Godzilla. I can't even stop things happening in my own life. But what I can control is what's at work, always in my brain.
Yes.
And I know me, and I know what I'm capable of. And I know I've won every battle I've faced to this point. And this one is just a new hurdle. It's a little bit higher than it used to be. I'm a little more tired, and I got some achy hips now. But let me back up a little extra run time. Give me just a moment, and I will get it together. And that's the glory of this show, guys. That's literally, Deb, I love your share. I have Bill here who wants to come on stage, and William Rochelle is a new friend of mine. I met him because of all the chaos he is doing in my circle of friends. And I love what he's doing, guys. If you're not following him, definitely follow Deb too. Follow them all. But Bill, I mean, let's talk about thoughts at work, my friend. You have been, I've heard you say my name, and I am so grateful for all the ways you're saying my name everywhere. Yeah, talk to me. How are you feeling? What's coming up for you in this?
I'm feeling, first of all, good morning, everyone. I'm not a morning person, but I'm here for this. I'm feeling refreshed. Yesterday, when I went to bed, I looked at my living room and I literally said, it looks decent. I'm not finished, right? I have all sorts of things to do, but I can see things, and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. The way that you work is magnificent, and it's not intrusive, but you challenge people. It's very, very cool. And you check in every day, and I don't know you. we're getting to know each other, right?
Absolutely.
So with that, it's been phenomenal. It's very interesting. I talked to my ex-wife last night, and I said, I'm working with this coach, and she said, "How much are you paying?" And I said, "Well, Aaron did something, and Melissa, and things are going well, and what it's costing is not the issue. It's what I'm getting out of it. And you're not only working on me, but you're also working on my professional, my home life, and my personal life. And for that, I will be forever grateful. Forever grateful.
But as professionals, guys, let's talk about that overlap. If my house isn't okay, my professional life is not probably either, because the professional life will be intruded on by thoughts, phone calls from home. I'm not focused. Heck, guys, I've had debt collectors call me at work when I was younger, a single mom and whatever. I could not focus on my job because I was worried they were going to shut off my lights at home. And I had to be at work to pay the lights, but I couldn't focus because they kept bothering me while I was at work.
Right.
And so you have to get it all together. I don't know about the other ADHD, magical, alphabetical people in the crowd, but do you work better on a clean desk, or do you like your doom piles while you're trying to be creative and focused? Right? And Bill, I see me in you a lot. I see that person who's passionate. I see you having fun. I see you really great at your craft and harnessing that and showing up for yourself. Same spot every day, tapping the tree. But I also was like, I see something else. Let me talk to him. I got to get a hold of him. And Aaron's like, yeah, let's get him on the phone with you. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And here we are. And I didn't try to push, but I also knew I had to tell you what I saw. I was honest, I was clear, and it created momentum, right?
Yeah,
And
and this is my season of yes, by the way. Just not biting. I went with the flow. I just let it go.
And honestly, this week, and we don't have to talk about what you've done, but how much progress do you think you've made versus the week before, even like momentum wise? Where did this clarity take you?
So we could be honest. Felipe knows. He knows very, very well. So I was in a depression, and it was manifesting in the way that my house looked, and the way that I was sleeping and walking and everything, guys. And depression is real, but at the same, it's real, period. And I was wrestling with what am I going to do next, and I can't take any more rejection. So I started treating my home like I was about to lose it. So what I have done, and it's not clean yet. I started this on Wednesday, Melissa, and it's Saturday, and I'm still cleaning my house. I'm still not willing to share photos with you, but I'm almost there. How's that? I'm almost ready.
This is what I'm going to say, guys. We spoke on Wednesday, and he's almost in a spot where he is ready to let others in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when we talk about rejection, like by acting in that way, you were allowing yourself to reject everybody else because you weren't going to bring us in.
Right. No one, even my neighbors that knock at the door, I have to walk outside. No one could come in.
Yeah. And now it's something where I was like, we're going to get your windows open. Depression, right? Like I used to make my mom open the windows. Let's get some sunshine in because we can't grow without sunshine. Sunlight is a thing humans need. And truthfully, there's a lot of things we all need. We all know it. We need rest, water, food. We need people to care for us and help us pluck away the weeds when we can't tend our garden. And that's all it is. But if you're really about the business, like, and I'm not saying coaches aren't, but I'm about the business of paying attention. I assess before I act. I really look at things and figure it out. And then the other thing, and I didn't share this slide yet, but I want to share this moment, is I talk to people a lot about like preschool and being in elementary school and kindergarten and having different stations and play places where we can play. And guys, when I hated one station because the paste wasn't pasting, the scissors weren't scissoring, whatever it was, right? Like the person next to me stole my blue crayon. I don't care. I could get up and change the table and I could go play with other people and I could do something different. And if you guys aren't allowing yourself that shift, that I don't want it this way anymore, I need to do it differently. And honestly, the first thing I told William was something to the effect of like, congrats on saying this was enough, like being done with that part of your life. Because I've been in the spot where I've had doom piles. I think we all kind of showed our desk that day. It was Aaron, Bill, and I. We were all talking, and I was like, look at my desk. And Aaron, show him your desk. And ADHD people have 57 bottles of water on their desk.
Okay. Okay. So right now, my house probably looks like the clutter that you guys showed.
But that's okay. That is progress. And you know what, guys?
It is progress.
It is live in front of friends and professionals and the trolls and all the people, right? It's huge. That is such a big thing. And I don't even know if you understand how proud I am of you for just even being honest about it. Because what I do, sharing my story, is not the easiest. I've had people come at me, call me terrible things because I should be at home in the kitchen, come at me and tell me they wanted to do things to me that got them reported for sexual harassment. You open a door to everybody assessing and judging, because that's what I'm, especially me, I'm telling you to assess. And so if you're not assessing me, you're not listening. But it's in what makes us move, and you're moving. You assess what you liked and what you didn't like. And you got up from the table you were sitting at, you put down your toys, and you moved to a different room. And that's cool, dude. It really is, because not everybody can tackle it. I remember going to my mom's house once a month and doing I'm pulling the couch away from the walls. I'm wiping the walls down. I'm pushing it all back, vacuuming the whole thing. just because I knew she couldn't rally in her downtime. And so the fact that you can is just really cool. I'm really proud of it. And you guys, if you're not rallying right now to that degree where you can't just like turn it all on and get to work, do one bag. Take one little small grocery bag and just clean off the nightstand so you could put more junk on it while you lay there. Like literally,
Absolutely.
if that's all you do, just do that. If you just shower, brush your teeth, wash your face, I'm proud of you. I've said this in a reel before because sometimes people don't even do that. But please, you will never have friends if you don't brush your teeth. Like we want to get close, but we can't whisper to you, buddy. It's morning breath time. But be willing to accept what your friends tell you too, because if William wasn't open, he wouldn't have done the work. If Deb didn't open herself up and be a little stalker and listen in and not tell me she was listening, she wouldn't have done the work to see the difference in the conversation today. There are so many people I talk to, and I'm just like, I'm so grateful that they're telling me that I've had the ripple, because not everybody always shares that stuff, guys. Like Deb hid it for 12 months. Dang it, Deb. Just kidding. But owning the growth is important. And that's the other reason to share, guys. If somebody helped you go from point A to point B, just saying, hey, this person helped. It's not just you. It's you that you're like, it's not them just being helped. It's you. You're acknowledging what you've accomplished. And I think people forget that part and don't want to brag. And I think you should. Bill, go ahead.
I also wanted to share this. As everyone knows, most people know I have dogs. And to be honest with you, Melissa, once I opened the windows, the dogs went crazy. They're so much happier. Right now, Bruno is sitting out, just looking out the window and barking at people. He's totally excited. And the other thing that I put into motion after we spoke, you told me to take mini breaks. So my mini breaks have been me walking to the marina and back. And I've been doing it like 3 times a day. I had gotten so depressed that I would walk my dogs to the front yard. As soon as I peed, we would go back into the house. So it has gone beyond that. And I also think I told you I had a morning coffee with my neighbor Steve the next day after we used to talk, because you told me to start socializing and meeting people. All of that is included in what Melissa has done for me this week.
I didn't do anything but say, hey, I see you, buddy. What are you doing?
That's all you needed to say.
That's it. But guys, that's it. Sometimes you just need somebody to go, I see you. Also, I'm going to check in on you again tomorrow, because I'm going to keep seeing you until I see you differently. And then you're still going to be around because, now I know you. And I apologized the first time I met him. I was like, I'm sorry in advance. Now you know me. You're in trouble. I don't know. But guys.
But it's a good trouble.
It is a good trouble. And I like making good trouble. And I've pushed buttons. But sometimes those people come back and go, you were the one person who was willing to tell me the one thing I needed to hear that day. And I hated you for it for 6 months.
I never.
No. And not you, but others. And then I'm like, it's okay. Because I hated God for a long time too, before I forgave him for taking my fiance and then giving me the husband. And then now I'm sitting here going, well, I'm not going to hate on God this time, because I believe and I see and I do the things a little differently, but I'm allowed to be mad that my life's not where it is, but I approach it differently. I pray on it. I'm like, God, remove these bricks. What are you doing? Remove the bricks you do in place. What are you doing? You're anointing me. And guys, I've even gone so far now that when I get ready in the morning, it is perfume. It is, but it's a perfume oil. And I will pray as I'm putting the oil on, because why not? And you know what? I have felt extra fluffy this week. It's simple stuff, and it could be a mindset and it could be a placebo, but you know what, baby, it works. Let it happen. And it's working for you, Bill. Deb, it sounds like you want to say something real quick too. Did you come off to add?
Yeah, I did. 2 things. So the ripple that you created for me, Melissa, was the realization that I could be myself and say the feral feminist parts of myself and not be afraid of it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
You gave me the permission to be myself. And then Bill, from you, kudos to you, sir, for reaching out when you knew you needed help, because there are so many people that don't. There are so many people that suffer and keep suffering. And those are the people that you hear horrible stories about, because they didn't They didn't have the courage to reach out. I don't even know if it's courage. I think they just maybe gave up whatever barriers they had put in the place for them being able to seek help. And it's the difference. It's the difference reaching out to a human being and just saying, "Hey, this is what's going on. I need someone to talk to. I need someone to tell me what's real and what isn't." And, and kudos to you for doing that.
So, Deb, I appreciate that, and I appreciate the fact that you put me in such high regard that you believe I reached out. But the truth is, I was on a podcast, and Melissa was watching it, and she contacted her friend and said, "I need to talk to him." Very interesting, and I just followed her. I followed her lead. I just felt comfortable with it. So I was not brave.
Yeah, you were, because you responded to the message.
Okay.
Do you get
Yeah.
that? There's some
Yes.
people who would have just who would have been like, "Who's this wackadoo?" Or would have attacked her. Because I'm sure, Melissa, you've had that happen before, where you reach out saying, "Hey, this is going to help you if you listen," and they're like, "Who are you?" Blah, 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 blah.
I mean,
So-
there's a reason I might have reached out to the person he was on the podcast with, which is Aaron. I'm going to call him out. He's willing to talk about it. But I said, "Hey, Aaron, I see something. I want to talk to William." He's like, "Oh yeah, he's such a good guy." I'm like, "Aaron, listen." And I just he was so excited about the show. I'm like, "Bring it back. I'm seeing something. I need to talk to William. Can you get him on the phone with me?" And he's like, "Yeah. Can I give him some free time?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to give him free time too. I need to talk to him. I don't care about the money. I just want to talk to him."
Yeah, I didn't want to say that.
And that's okay, because there's been others who have been adopted just like that, Bill. That's who I am. That is it. But it's when, and this is who I am as a human, guys. I wake up every morning and I go, "All right, God, do what you want with my life. However, I'm an idiot. So light it up like Die Hard. I need it fire on the runway. I need to know where I can land and where I'm supposed to be." And so when I look at something, and I know it's silly, but he knows
It's not
me. I'm
silly,
not
woman. It's
sugarcoating
perfect.
with God,
It's,
right?
you are so good at creating these analogies that are so perfect, because that's exactly how it is.
Well, God gave me that gift, so I use it to communicate with them so we understand each other. But truthfully, I'm like, look, I'm stupid, so do it. I'm easily distracted. Bird, squirrel, let's do it. But when I get that tickle, when I'm looking at something, I'm like, no, I know this is that moment. Your name is in my head. Whatever it is, I reach out. And I don't do it for me. I don't care about the money. God said move. I was like, okay. When your dad says go to your room, you go to your room. You don't say why. At least not in my generation. I didn't have a dad, but Mom said do it. I did it, right? And so I use that same mentality when God says, because I trust him not to hurt me. I trust that universe, whatever this bigger power is rattling in my brain, you could call it what you want. But for me, my faith guides me, and it has not failed me. When my gut says this person needs you, I show up and go, "What do you need?" And I listen. And then I just tell them, "I know you said this, but I heard this. Am I mishearing you?" Because my gut, I can be talking mid-sentence and go, "Wait, no, I just lied. That doesn't feel right." And I'll say something and my gut says, "That's not what you meant to say," or "That's not what I wanted you to say," whatever it is. And I'll pull it back and then reword it so it's aligned correctly. And it's not for everybody that way. It really isn't. But when I saw Will, I was like, I got to talk to him. I don't know for what. I don't know if he'll receive it. He, like you said, he could have said, "Look, I don't know you. You're cool and all, but I don't know you." He could have said, "Hey, I know 57 other people I could talk to right now. I don't need to talk to you." But he didn't. And then when I poked, he looked at me like, "Oh, this girl." And I'm sorry, but I'm a mom, so I read micro expressions. I'm like, "Wait, tell me again. What'd you just say? What was the eyebrows? Those glasses aren't working to hide it. I see through them." And he's like, "Uh-oh." But she is right. You are brave to say yes, because once you let somebody come poking in those things that you've covered up from the world intentionally, it hurts. It's the thorn bushes you have to move through to get to the other side. But honestly, I'm so proud of you because you didn't have to. And that's the difference. It really is. And I know Nick wants to come on stage and add to this, so I'm going to let her come here real quick. Can
we get Felipe on stage so I can yell at him?
Felipe, get
I'm
up here.
still wanting to do that.
Okay, Felipe, get up here. Let's make this man's dream come true. Nick, welcome to the stage. How you doing?
Hi, good morning. It's funny. I am on my phone and I see this what looks like this pretty cool room, but I can't see properly. I'm losing my eyesight. Oh, that's awesome.
What?
Well, I know, I'm like babbling. Happy Thanksgiving weekend, first of all. I am loving the conversation as I always do. But I actually wanted to go back on something you said. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So you talked about clarity doesn't always bring peace. And that, that you're not always going to be clear on things, right? What I like about this is that I find that a lot of people share, in order to reach your goals, you have to have clarity. And a lot of times my goals aren't clear, or even my main goal isn't clear. And then there are times when it is, but the steps to take aren't clear. So, like you say, and I really appreciated this, it's momentum. It's about continuing to move. And I think the biggest part of the clarity that causes the peace for me is knowing that I'm aligned with the way that I show up every moment. So, I'm never afraid that without the clarity, I won't get to where I need to be. So that was actually my share.
I love that so much. And let me just add before you do whatever else you're going to do. It's so important to know that just knowing it's time to move is enough clarity to move, right? It doesn't mean you know what you're doing. You can say, I'm going to get up and clean my house. You stand up off the couch. You have no idea where you're going to start yet, but you know you're starting. That is clarity. And then that momentum of standing gives you new perspective. And then as you move forward, maybe you go, oh, I see this piece of trash on the floor. Let me pick it up. Now you're walking to the trash can. You're like, oh, that's full. Let me empty that. The to-do list will build itself in a house. And if you're ADHD like me, you're going to go through the whole house before you get it all done, because you can't just focus on one room at a time. Before you walk and then you're like, oh, I got to do the laundry. I dropped the towels off. But that clarity of wanting to act starts the process, right? And that's the part, Nick, you knew you wanted to be a publisher, and you did that before you ever left your job. You knew you wanted to do publishing full-time, and you left your job before you knew how you do publishing full-time. And you talked about this journey as you went, which is the momentum that creates clarity for others who are watching your story as they're growing, building, maybe with clarity, maybe with not, but just knowing that passion, that need to move is there. That's so cool, Nick. And you helped me with my momentum because I've written twice with you and both became international best-selling books. And that gave me more momentum because I was clear on my ability to set a goal and achieve it that I had never really fathomed. I knew I wanted to write my story. I knew that was always going to be part of it. I thought maybe poetry. I thought maybe on social media. I didn't always think book. I did think maybe solo book one day when everybody was gone and I could tell the story without hurting feelings. But I never thought collaboration. I never thought a LinkedIn book.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Nick, I mean, you got to give yourself credit too, because
she did it for me too, Melissa. I never thought that writing a book or writing something like that had always been a dream of mine. And it wasn't until Nick came along with the collaboration thing that I took action on it. And so, Nick, yeah, you are the Ripple Queen as well. There's Ripple Queens all over here. But what I wanted to point out, Melissa, was this: what you said about taking action and acting it's the key. There's a quote about how the world doesn't care what you want, think, intend, or wish for. The world only moves for you when you act. And that, to me, is kind of the phrase that I've been holding on to this whole last year in building a business, is the world only moves for you when you act. So what is the action that I need to take?
And that's where I get into make a to-do list, guys, because also I forget. I have so many circles that I can forget the 3 to 5 things each circle might have for me. But if we write it down, we get a partner. And this is where it becomes important. Nick has been my accountability partner for hitting a deadline to get to publishing, right? That's what a publisher does. Could I have taken some of these steps on my own and figured out? Probably, right? I'm not a silly goose. I've done research for a decade. did I have peace of mind knowing she's done it, replicated it, and over? I could just come to her and she'd be like, girl, get your story, and girl, get your story, without somebody going, girl, get your story. And I'd never have gone to print because I'm a deadline. When it comes to writing, when it comes to sharing my story on paper, I'm a little temperamental because of my experiences in school. My teachers weren't always the most supportive in the way they criticized or critiqued or whatever. And my life sucked at home, guys. So when the teachers got on me too for something that I really couldn't control, it hurt. So maybe trauma, maybe trigger, whatever you want to call it, but having Nick go, hey, get it in. Hey, it doesn't have to be perfect. Hey, share what you got. It could be 2 lines. I don't care. It helped. And so Nick, that power and that clarity you give others to just be themselves and do what you got to do, not say sorry. That's something Nick Show talked about a lot when she was having it on Sundays. Don't apologize. Don't say sorry. I love that you share that too, Nick, 100%. Do you want to add there?
I'm just, again, like I said, enjoying the conversation, and I appreciate that, you don't need to be 100% clear in where you are headed in order to be able to bring clarity to others based on the experience that you have, if it is that, like, that experience is going to guide the person, right? And offering clarity, just in the sense of publishing, is very it's very vast, right? So everybody needs a different type of clarity in a process like this because everybody's facing a different challenge. So oftentimes when you yourself bring just a service to someone and they feel that you've offered clarity to them, that actually reflects back to you in a lot of ways, and in its own way brings clarity to you, because it helps you to keep facing different situations and realizing that instinctually you have what it takes to guide that person. And then you keep discovering as you go that, your mission becomes clearer and clearer. The vision becomes clearer and clearer. I hope this is making some sense.
Oh, it is. That's exactly it. Listen,
but,
guys, clarity creates momentum. Momentum creates clarity. It's the cycle. It's the infinite movement of an object in motion stays in motion. We've heard it said a lot of ways, but the other thing I'll say is you can only be so clear before you move. And then you can get all the to-do lists together you want, but have you ever heard that quote that when you plan, God laughs? And so I want everybody listening to know you can have the best of plan, but if you're not willing to be able to shift your perspective, your mindset, your priorities, you're not going to make it. It can't be all the things all at once. And so, Nick, I appreciate you coming to this stage. I have Felipe here. Guys, I do have a hard stop because I have to go to work today. It is Black Friday weekend and I work retail and it's been fun and I'm grateful I don't have to be there at 4 a.m., but I still got to be there at 8:30 a.m. And so we're about an hour away. Let me jump in here with Felipe. Felipe, welcome. What's coming up for you? How are you loving this right now? Are you loving it? I'm loving it. It feels a little bit like the old audio.
No, this is a great discussion, and it doesn't feel like the old audio. And I love everyone that's been on stage. It's great to hear from Bill and Deb and Nick, and of course you. And I just wanted to shine a light on you, Houston. You have a talent that you found in your life that you're using it to help others, and it's your ability to coach people. You have a natural talent that hits home. You know how to look at someone and be able to just zone in on what the issue is and help guide them to get the help that they want. It's not your vision, it's their vision you're helping become reality. And I give you kudos for that because that's not easy to do. My talent that I always say I've had is being able to see the skills in different people and pair them together, but I don't do anything about it. I just like I think you all should work together, or I think you all should be you all would be great friends, or I think you all should start a business together. Like I see that in people, and it's like almost putting the puzzle pieces together. Like you all belong together, you all click. but you help people move forward. You help people get over those hurdles, and you help them become tenacious. So I just want to give you kudos for that. And Bill, I'm just so happy that you are making progress. That's I feel good about every accomplishment every day, because that's what it's all about. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and Deb, you're awesome as always. And Nick, I think you're an amazing person. So I just wanted to say hi and give some kudos, and because y'all invited me up.
Can we
He's
jump on a
so
Zoom call after this, Felipe?
What's that?
Can we jump on a Zoom call after this?
We can. Oh, what? Not right after, because I have to get ready. Well, I have to get ready for the 12 o'clock Social Saturday chat call.
Okay.
But maybe after that. Oh,
Today sometime.
Yeah, the Ohio State game's on, and yeah, we definitely.
Okay, you guys
It'll
figure
be
that out.
3
But
minutes.
hold on.
Like,
So listen, Social Saturday chat, guys, go follow Felipe. I love that spot. Also, Felipe, I gotta say thank you for the kind words, because you don't always bring them. We fight and we do careers, chaos, and coaching tomorrow. And guys, if you want to hear us battle it out over some topics, come over. But genuinely, something that I appreciate about Felipe is we have coached each other. I have called him about stuff, and it was like HR relevant stuff. And I knew he was a guy I wanted to ask the question to. And he has called me about moments in his life. And it was just really cool to be able to share that. But also, we come to you guys every week, whether it be on his show with me tomorrow, the CCC brand, whether it be the Workplace Wellness Hour that he does.
I'm sorry, correction. Our show.
Okay, our show. Hold on. Don't interrupt my promo, bro. Ashley and Sumana are his other partners in his other show there. And I got to say, I'm big fans of their work. Ashley uses art and creativity to help people do their thing, which I dig a lot with my crayons and markers. And then Sumana does data to change and focus and really draw outcomes that you can bank on. And I love that too, because as a girl who likes a good ROI as a coach and consultant, we got to know what we're working for. It works. And he does it from so many different places, guys. And this is the part that I wanted to bring up about Felipe, not to pitch him because but because Felipe's Venn diagram is very diverse too, even in the way he shows up on the same platform in the same group of humans. He approaches it differently and taps into his different passions and facets. And, he always has his fives. That's something he can count on. I always have my document that act and the Venn diagrams and the bubbles and all that good stuff. But you guys, you have something about you. Every time you look in the mirror, that's that one thing about you that you can highlight. Bill is able to take a message and just share it. He's able to go live without hesitation. He's able, even in his depression, and Bill and Konya, because you said it, not me, but even when you were struggling personally, you showed up publicly for others. And I'll be honest, guys, that's what I saw. When he was showing compassion to others, I heard him speaking from a firsthand perspective on not wanting people to be insert here. I don't even remember the topic. I just remember knowing, oh, he's talking for real. He understands this. And if he understands this, let me figure out if it's past, previous, future, where are we at? And you guys have a gift to look at something and assess. It could be that, oh my gosh, the decor is off. Let me fix it. And you should be a home designer. Maybe it's a funeral director. I've thought about doing that. I'd be really good at guiding people through like picking the flowers and setting the music and the arrangements and inviting the guest and how to thoughtfully have the conversations. But there's other ways that could be used. Does it mean I can't do that? No, it just means that's not my focus today. But what is it that you want to repeat every day? Nick wants to write. Nick wants to be empowering stories. She's very much into all of that, right? You go look at her profile, you'll see what she lives and breathes. Felipe too. Deb, Bill, we all have our stories. What do you guys tell in the world about? Do you even tell the world what your passions are on your profile? Because that's something else. Like if you're here on LinkedIn, if you're on YouTube, if you're on social and you're not setting up your profile for people to come to meet you in these events where you are overlapping, breathing the same air, listening to the same stories, having the same lessons shared, then what are you doing? Why are you here? If you're not going to grow together, then, what's the plan? Do you have a plan? Did you never consider growing together or connecting with the people you've been listening in with for 2 hours? All of these people have shows or engage on shows or coach with people who have shows? Why not get to know them and see if they can't collaborate with you in some way, or you can't elevate them or help them? Have the conversation so you can hear what they need and see what's written right there on their face. Are you listening? And if I'm going to be honest, it can't just be others, guys. When's the last time you sat down and listened to yourself? Really looked in the mirror. If I told you the next time you were going to do doom scrolling time, you were going to sit on the couch and not do the act you know you should be doing, if you were going to get in your feels about anything, what if I told you you had to do it in front of a mirror? What if I made you sit in front of the mirror to be ugly to yourself or rude or lazy or whatever, and you just had to look at yourself? Because I promise you, if you put a mirror up near your TV, you're not going to like sitting in front of the TV the whole time. You're going to be looking at the Gilmore Girls or whatever it is you're streaming, and you're going to then see yourself and you'll be like, what are you doing, lump of potatoes? Get up and do something. Maybe not you. That's me. That's me. But if we're not assessing, if we're not reflecting, if we're not looking at ourselves in the mirror long enough to actually look at ourselves in the mirror and not just see if the liner is straight or whatever it is, we need to pause and do that. If you're not assessing what you're thinking and how often you're thinking those thoughts, ask yourself why. The reason those thoughts are there is because there's something your brain's trying to tell you. Subconsciously, it's working on itself even when you're sleeping. And if you're not assessing what it is, if you don't understand why the same 10 things keep popping in your mind day in and day out, you need to figure it out. Because maybe it's the distraction. Maybe there's one person at work who comes in every day and asks you if the coffee's ready. So at 10 a.m., you're thinking coffee when you don't even drink it. Maybe you could say, I don't know, I don't drink it. Stop asking me. That would clear up your 10 a.m. for whatever else is on that list. You really need to assess what your thoughts are so you can understand where they're coming from, why they're coming, what you should do about your thoughts, and if you need to act on them. If you don't need to act on them, why are we having them? It comes back to the grocery list conversation we've had before. If you keep telling yourself milk, cheese, eggs, and butter, you're never going to have time to think about what you and your husband should talk about, what you need to do for your family, what business email you should be sending off instead of thinking about milk, eggs, cheese, and butter. But as soon as you write those 4 things down on paper, boom, you couldn't remember if you tried. If you lost that list, you're out of luck at the store. Does anybody understand what I'm saying and agree? Felipe, Nick, Bill, is any of this resonating for you?
Absolutely. For me, making a list, it frees my mind up to know that I'm not going to forget something and I can go back to that list. And that is something that's why your document and act is so spot on, because when I'm at work, I have my massive to-do list. It looks insane. It's overwhelming. But then every day I take a Post-it and I take 3 things off that list and say, here are 3 things I want to get done. And if I get those 3 things done, I'll feel very accomplished and I can go back to the master list and pick up one more thing. But
Yes.
if it's in my head and it's constantly spinning, I don't know what to do first. I don't know where to start. And I spend more time worrying than acting.
I love that so much. Somebody else jump in, go for it. We got limited time.
I'll jump in. I wanted to just touch on what Deb said about, you have to take action for basically things to happen. And I actually live by a couple of things. God does not help those who do not help themselves. God did not give us a talent for us to waste it. Each of us was given a unique talent in order for us to accomplish the things that we need to in our life. And the last thing that I want to say is, yes, I agree with the lists. It can get very difficult if you don't put something together. And one of the things I love to do is the next morning, I would actually rewrite my list without the items that I had gotten done. And this just keeps this rolling, reinforcing process in my mind. That's my share.
I love that. And guys, if you're listening, for me personally, what I like to do is 3 lists. Today, which is the next 24 hours. This week, which means 7 days. And then after. And there's no limit to that. And the concept Felipe is talking about of doing 3 to 5 things on the list every day is smart, right? Because 3 to 5 things is a lot, especially if each bullet point can create 3 additional bullet points, creating like a bank account, for example. You have to gather certain points of documentation before you can even go into the bank. So it's going to have its own to-do list of getting and gathering. Then you have to take the action to get there. Maybe you get a flat tire on the way. There's another bullet point added to your to-do list. It gets really overwhelming. But if you look at that 3 to 5 and you're like, oh man, I just keep adding, let me move this one to this week. I can realign tomorrow to take care of that or push it back. And then you can eliminate some of that. And then, like Felipe said, if you get it done early, go back to the list and be like, heck yeah, it took me 8 seconds to do 5 things. Let me get 5 more to try. And it really becomes something you can tackle the biggest list in no time at all. And if it's after, you're not hurting yourself by saying, I'm not going to do the garage this weekend. You can do the garage after this weekend. Maybe it's next weekend, but you don't have to stick to that plan if the other to-do lists get overwhelming. Bill, did you want to add?
I just wanted to say, I love what Nick said. List, as far as I'm concerned, I use them in my business life, but I don't use them in my personal life. And I think that's one of the things that you and I talked about that I need to start kind of blending. I will start my list, but right now my focus is on getting everything clean. And as I'm doing this, it's kind of cathartic because I'm thinking about all the stuff you told me to think about. So that's it. You've been a blessing. Nick, you're wonderful. Felipe, love you, man. Deb, nice to meet you.
Bill, you just told me you have a list. You're processing and you're cleaning, and each of those bullet points is going to create their own bullet points within your to-do list today. So you have a list. You just didn't have to write it down, and it's only 2 bullet points of I'm processing and I'm cleaning. But that's your list, right? And guys, it can be that simple. I don't have a list, but he just gave me 2 bullet points. That's a list.
Can I add one thing real quick, Houston?
Yep.
Don't mix up your personal list with your business list. When you're off, keep your personal list separate so you focus on you, because once you start seeing the business things slip in, you'll start getting distracted and you'll start chasing you like squirrel. So keep them separate because it's going to help you focus.
Thank you, Felipe.
I love this. Guys, I got to tell you, I was talking to my team too. It's really amazing to me that I've been with the company for 2 years. In the first year, there were some uphill battles. I entered into an industry I had not worked in previously firsthand. I had helped a couple of motorcycle shop owners with parts and whatever. My father-in-law owns his own shop, and I had helped out around there a little bit with some eBay stuff and posting and parts. It was cool. However, when you run into a store where everybody rides and you don't, and I can't because of my arthritis, even if I wanted to, I couldn't. I had to figure out a way to anchor into this team and figure it out. And it wasn't easy. And I came in with the direct command from my authority, like my boss saying, change it, set a new standard, set this new criteria in the store to have it be more community focused. And 2 years later, I'm looking around. I don't work 60-hour weeks anymore. I have a team that they're consistent. They call in, they communicate with each other, they take care of it. I have a team that makes sure that I'm drinking my water and ask me, did you drink your water? They will take the phone away from me at the store because somehow every time it's next to me, my elbow will hit it and it will ring because that's how it works as that phone. And so they'll steal it from me and tell me I'm not allowed to have the phone, and they'll only hand it to me when I need it. It's kind of a running joke, but I have this team that has created what I needed because I communicated and I told them how I work best. And I feel like I only knew how to do that because I had reflected. I knew me. I know if I don't have protein by 10, 11 a.m., I am not a happy person. And it doesn't matter how sparkly I want to be, I am not a happy person. But if I know, hey guys, I have to eat, I'm getting hungry, they go, okay. They give me that 5 minutes. I take a snack, we're ready, and we're back in action. And I respect my team in the same way. And so what I would say today, guys, with all the shares, if nothing else, I just want to remind you, you got to respect other people and how they work if you want them to respect how you work. You need to determine what this looks like for you. Who's in control of your thoughts if it isn't you? Genuinely, who are you giving that power to, and why would you give them that power? For me, I don't have a lot of grace in who I'm giving my thoughts to and how often they get to have them, because I want to be in control of my story. I want to be in control of the narrative. I want to be able to limit what comes in and out of my ears or what I'm thinking, because I have had ugly thoughts. I have been almost 300 pounds and hated every bit of the weight. I hated the weight because of the extra pain it gave me with my back and hip issues. I lost weight. I learned how to do my own diet. I came up with a trick for myself that worked. Lost the weight, and then I started working on my mind. But I got to be honest, I was working on both the whole time, because you can't tell yourself no to something unless you understand how to tell yourself no kindly, without degrading yourself, without moving yourself backwards by trying to move yourself forwards, right? And I have quit smoking. I am 10 years without smoking now. I've lost the weight. I've kept it off. I have gained 10, 15 pounds, give or take, on and off, but I'm back down again. I am at my married weight, which it's been a minute. And I'm moving more than I ever did, even with the ability to say I'm disabled. And I could come home and not work if I chose to, but I'm pushing through. And it's not easy, but I feel it's worth it, because the longer I use this body, the longer I can use this body. And the longer I use the body, the more time I have to work on the mindset to be ready not to use the body. And this is a truth for me. I know it's coming, but I also have a hip surgery before that happens. And so then I'm getting my mind ready for what happens when I can run. What happens when I can move in a way I haven't moved before? And will my mind be ready? Will I have the friends who want to come run with me? Will I be mentally, physically, emotionally at my peak? So when I'm at my peak, I can be at my peak. It's simple, but not. Right? And you guys got to decide. I got to decide. And I have decided. If you have decided today that you want to work with me, I have a special going for the next 2 people who sign up. It's $2,500 for a whole year of coaching. I don't do that very often. I'm going to be honest. There was something that said somebody needed it. I do take payment plans. You'd have to pay for 1 quarter in ahead. That's it. But do it. If you want less time, if you just want an hour, I have $25 clarity calls right now. William got one. He got one, and you heard what happened, right? I have had clarity call after clarity call that had a ripple that was exponential. None of my business except to help out. I give them away, and sometimes they don't show up. And so this time they're $25 each, just because first time only, I want you to get going. And I don't want you to tell yourself it's too expensive. I take payment plans, even on the $25 if that's what it takes, because I want you to get started. But I want you to invest in yourself, and I won't invest in you unless you're ready to. It could be time, it could be money, it could be energy, but I need to know you're committed, because it doesn't work unless you do. That's just what it is. But guys, it is time to go. I got to play my song before I run out of time, and I can't do it anymore. So thank you for coming. I will be back next week. Friends, thank you for coming to the stage. I can't wait to see you again.
Creeps through my window pane. Dreams of stars, now a faint refrain. Coffee brews and thoughts collide in this early morning ride. Wake up world, let's start the day. Insight flows in a bright array. Questions dance like morning dew. In this space, it's me and you. Coffee chats with Melissa. Every cup was a whisper. Conversations open door. Spilling thoughts forevermore. Ideas bubble crisp and bright.